story. He was in Las Vegas over the weekend proposing a new plan for the nearly 90,000 IRS agents that Joe Biden hired under the last 4 years. Trump has new ideas. Watch this.
On day one, I immediately halted the hiring of any new IRS agents. You know, they hired or tried to hire 88,000 new workers to go after you, and we're in the process of developing a plan to either terminate all of them or maybe we'll move them to the border. I think we're going to move them to the border. Well, they're allowed to carry guns. You know, they're so strong on guns, but these people are allowed to carry guns, so we'll probably move them to the border.
Your reaction, I mean, this is incredible.
Humor
proposing
right there,
sending
folks.
these IRS agents to the border. What are they going to do? One of the issues here is that President Trump found out that a majority of the audits that were done, a Treasury Inspector General report found that more than 90% of the agency audits between 2019 and 2023 were taxpayers making less than $400,000 a year, Chris. I mean, the president already said he'd like to create an external revenue service to collect profits and tariff from foreign countries. His Treasury Secretary nominee, Scott Bessent, could be confirmed by the Senate as early as today. This is important. This will give the markets clarity, Chris.
It definitely gives the markets clarity because we weaponized the IRS, right? And it wasn't even against the wealthiest. It was against the middle market, which is exactly what Biden promised against. And the idea of saying we need more revenue instead of growing the economy, the idea was hire more IRS agents, turning this against our people. That's why people were so excited about President Trump saying, let's go and collect the monies owed to us by other countries. What a novel idea that is. So I think it's going to be, I think many of those people are going to be, his messages, those people are going to be looking for work, and they're going to have to develop ways to build the economy as opposed to additionally taxing our people.
Absolutely. What do you think, Cheryl?
Well, they were targeting small businesses, Maria. We've talked about this on this program. That's what they started to do. You go after the low-hanging fruit. You go after who you think won't fight back. And that is, we already knew this was happening. People under 400,000, making 400,000 and less. Again, a lot of those were small businesses, small LLCs across this country. This is the IRS. So, you know.
Now that we have the full context, family, about Trump, you know, could income tax disappear? Donald Trump's external revenue service proposal. Do you ever feel frustrated about how much your paycheck goes towards income taxes? What if I told you that income tax as we know it could disappear forever? That's exactly what President Donald Trump is proposing with his groundbreaking idea, the External Revenue Service, the ERS, they like to call it. And this plan would stop taxing American citizens and instead collect revenue from foreign trade. And this isn't just a small tweak, it's a complete overhaul of the U.S. tax system that could change the financial landscape for America and the world. So now I'll be breaking down what's Trump ERS proposal, External Revenue Service proposal is, what it means for the U.S. and the global economy, the likelihood of his plan actually happening, and what you can expect and how to prepare. So stick around because this could be one of the most significant financial shifts of our lifetime. Let's dive into it. So you probably heard of the Internal Revenue Service, the IRS. I mean, who hasn't if you work, which was established in 1913. Trump is now proposing the creation of the ERS, External Revenue Service, which would shift the focus from taxing Americans to collecting revenue from foreign trade through tariffs and duties. Trump announced the idea in the tweet saying, "For far too long, we the American people have relied on taxing our great people using the IRS, and I will create the External Revenue Service to collect tariffs, duties, and revenue from foreign trade starting January 20th, 2025. And this isn't a new idea for Trump. During his first term, he increased tariffs on foreign goods, and during his 2024 campaign, he pledged to impose tariffs of 10 to 20% on all foreign goods and up to 60% on Chinese goods, okay? So the historical context. How did the U.S. fund itself before income tax? Before the IRS was created in 1913, the United States government funded itself primarily through tariffs on imported goods. In fact, tariffs accounted for 95% of federal revenue at one point. And Trump has pointed that out that this system worked well, and he believes it's time to return it. And other countries today, like the Bahamas, Mexico, don't rely on income taxes. Instead, they fund their governments through corporate taxes, and it's called value-added tax and other revenue streams, right? So, for example, Dubai has no income tax, but imposes a 5% value-added tax and 9% corporate tax rate. And the problem with the current system within the U.S. is the U.S. government is spending far more than it collects in taxes, leading to a massive deficit. In 2024, the federal government spent $2 trillion more than it brought in, and this gap is expected to grow. So if the government isn't using our taxes to fund itself, where's the money coming from? The answer, debt. So this raises questions, or the question I would like to say, why are we paying so much in high income taxes if they're not even funding the government? Some argue that income taxes are more about wealth redistribution than funding government operations. So the pros and cons of Trump's external revenue proposal. The pros, you may ask: lower taxes for Americans. If the government collects revenue from foreign trade, income taxes could be reduced or eliminated. I don't think it will be eliminated in its entirety, in my opinion. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Another pro: more revenue for the government. Tariffs on foreign goods could bring in significant revenue. And the last one, economic growth. Lower taxes could lead to more spending and investment by individuals and businesses. Now, in the cons, you may ask: higher prices on imported goods. Tariffs could increase the cost of goods, leading to inflation. And retaliatory tariffs. Other countries might impose tariffs on the U.S. exports. Though the risk may be overblown since the U.S. is a net importer. So basically, the U.S. could basically face backlash from things being shipped out to other countries, as we all know the power in receiving most when it comes to imports. So could this actually happen? There are significant hurdles to Trump's plan, including the opposition from Congress, the IRS, and the tax industry. However, Trump has a track record of pushing through major tax reforms. During his first term, he implemented the largest tax cuts in U.S. history, including benefits like accelerated depreciation for businesses. If Trump were to impose a 20% tariff on all imported goods, it would generate about $766 billion, which is only 15.6% of the federal goods or the federal government's total revenue. So 15.6% of the federal government's total revenue, folks. And this means that the External Revenue Service alone wouldn't fully replace income taxes, but it could significantly reduce them. So what does this mean for you? Higher prices. Well, regardless of whether Trump's plan goes through, here's what you can expect. Higher prices. Tariffs will likely increase the cost of imported goods. Lower taxes. Some form of tax cuts is probable, though it may not be a complete elimination of income taxes. And in the meantime, you could take advantage of the current tax code to reduce your tax burden. The system favors investors and business owners as we know it, so consider strategies like investing in real estate or starting a business if you can and it's doable, investing in yourself to unlock tax benefits. But however, to close, in conclusion, to tie things all together, Trump's external revenue proposal is a bold idea that could reshape the U.S. tax system. While there are challenges to this implementation, it's worth paying attention to, as it could have a major impact on your finances. What do you think? Now I ask, could this plan actually happen? Let me know in the comments below. And however, family, if you got some value from this video, give this video a big thumbs up. Remember, let the love supersede the hate. Spread the peace, love, and positivity, folks. Until next time, see you in the next one. Peace, family.